How's it going, everybody? My name is Morgan, and welcome back to the Hall of Film YouTube channel. Now, today is a new idea and a new video inspired by Carsten Runquist, who recaps everything he saw in each month, and I thought I would do the same. It is also something that my friend Andrew over at the Revisionist Almanac podcast does, which I, of course, highly recommend that everybody checks out. So, starting off the year with my first ever David Lynch movie, I watched Eraserhead, which probably isn't the best introduction to David Lynch, because extremely weird and graphic, and just it really leaves you wondering what the hell you just watched. I really enjoyed it, and I'm definitely going to dive into David's filmography throughout the year. I ended up giving Eraserhead 4 stars. You can check all these reviews more in detail on my Letterboxd, which is on the channel links. Then the first 2024 movie of the year, that come out in the UK, because cinema release times are vastly different here. We get movies months later than America do, which is always frustrating. But I watched A Real Pain, loved it. Kieran Culkin's definitely a front runner for Best Supporting Actor. I just thought it was a really fun movie. Jesse Eisenberg's debut as a director. I thought he did a great job. I highly recommend people checking it out. I also give that 4 stars. Then a movie to catch up finishing on the series of movies, I watched Terrifier 3. Fun time as the other movies are. Ended up giving that a 3. Not much more I can say really. Just a fun horror if you like horror. I recommend everybody checks out the Terrifier series. If you're not good with gore though, do not check it out. Then a personal new favourite, and of the 2024 movies, probably my number one, is Sing Sing. Wow. Incredible. I am still annoyed and angry that this isn't up for more at the Oscars. Coleman Domingo is incredible. The supporting cast are amazing as well, considering a lot of those are first time actors. I recommend, again, everybody needs to check this movie out. I give it a 5. My movie of 2024. Then I watched A Different Man. What a year Sebastian Stan had, and I hope 2025 is going to be the same for him. Again, just an incredible movie. A24, they can't miss at the minute. Again, I'm going to say this a lot. A movie I recommend people go out their way to find and watch. I ended up giving that a 4. Really enjoyed it. On a rewatch, I could see it going up to maybe a 4.5. Then, this is where we get a bit, we get interesting. It is the newest controversy of the 2024 Oscar nominees. I watched Emilia Perez. Going into the movie, I didn't know the backlash, so I'm not one of these people that know the hate this movie has. So I was like, I'm going to go in, I'm going to hate it as well. I didn't know what to expect. I hated every single second of it. It felt like a 3-hour movie. It felt twice as long. The music is bad, the acting is bad, the story is bad. Everything about it's bad, and the fact this is the most nominated international movie in the Academy history, and it is the joint second most nominated film ever at the Oscars, is hilarious. No one should watch this. I gave it a half star, and it joined the Morbius club of do not watch ever. Then, to cleanse the palate, I ended up watching for the first time Jarhead. As a big Jake Gyllenhaal fan, I want to delve into his filmography a lot this year and kind of see all the main ones. Um, Also, if people know me, I am a sucker for a good war movie, and this is a good war movie. Ended up giving it 4 stars. If you like Jake Gyllenhaal, if you like war movies, this is the perfect film for you to watch. Then, because Andrew, who I mentioned, who does the Revisionist Almanac podcast, I am going on his podcast next year, where we're doing 2019 Academy Awards. So I am also this year going to be watching a lot of 2019 movies in preparation. And one of those, it was a first time watch. Yes, I know I am so late to the party, but I'm glad I'm there now. Parasite. Wow. As good as everybody says it is. Incredible. If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix in the UK. Go and watch it. If you saw my nominations for the modern period for the whole film, I put Parasite pretty high, and you'd understand if you watched that movie. Then watched in the cinema Sonic the Hedgehog 3. So I like the other two. This was great. I ended up giving this a 4. By the way, Parasite I give a 5. Of course, that goes without saying. But Sonic, really, really, really fun. Jim Carrey, just amazing as he always is. Ended up giving that 4. I recommend anybody, whether you have kids or whether you just want a chill movie, go and watch that. Then I watched again a 2024 release, Civil War. It come on Prime in the UK. If you haven't, go see it. Ended up giving that 4. Kirsten Dunst gives a great performance. Probably an argument that she could have got a Best Actress nominee. But yeah. Then I watched The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro's love letter to The Creature from the Black Lagoon, which is one of my favourite Universal Monsters movies. So I had pretty high standards and expectations for this, and oh my god, it did not disappoint. I ended up giving The Shape of Water a 5, probably a lot higher than some will, but loving The Creature from the Black Lagoon. I love what Guillermo del Toro does and the world he creates in that movie, and I can't recommend that enough. It's on Disney if you're in the UK. Then I watched with my friend Z the 1979 Nosferatu the Vampire, the Werner Herzog directed, Klaus Kinski acted second adaptation of Nosferatu. I wanted to watch that in preparation for seeing the 2024 Robert Eggers Nosferatu. I really enjoyed, again, the world crafting, the expansion on the story, because it's the first Nosferatu where we can hear people because it's not a silent film, so adds a lot more. Cinematography's stunning. Klaus Kinski is terrifying. I don't know how much that is to him acting as Count Orlok or just Klaus Kinski being a terrifying human being in general. Ended up giving that a 4.5. I really enjoyed it. Then another 2019 movie in preparation for going on the Revel Manac podcast. I watched 1917. Again, as I've just said, love war movies, and I love one that's very well done. Considering this movie just feels like one long shot, it's one singular story following two people, but mainly one person in a mission to deliver a message. That's it. And it is incredibly done. It's perfectly crafted by Sam Mendes. I mean, I can't praise it enough. I give it a 5. One of my favourite 2019 movies that I've watched so far. Then, again, going to my local cinema, sitting on the balcony to watch this, great experience. We Live in Time. This was a movie, going into it, I was hopeful that I would like it, and I did. Thought it was incredibly well done and moving. I cried like 4 times, I think, Florence Pugh, Andrew Garfield, I mean, they are incredible. Again, there's an argument I think that especially like Florence's performance could have got a Oscar nomination, but this year's Oscars is it's something. Um, Ended up giving that a 4 star. Again, on a rewatch, I can see that going higher, probably. Then I watched Better Man, a movie I was very skeptical about, not only because I'm a huge Robbie Williams fan, but because he's a CGI monkey, and I didn't know how it would be presented and done. But I'm very, very, very happy to say that it was done excellently. Um, and knowing Robbie's story, it did it justice, and the story was very well done. And of the 2024 biopics, the best one in my opinion, I give it 4.5. Really enjoyed it. Then I watched again 2019 prep for the Rev Almanac. I watched Bombshell. I know it was nominated. Quite a lot. I know the story itself's important. I just don't think it did it the right way. I couldn't connect with it. The performances are good, but ultimately I was left a bit very well, not a bit, very disappointed. I ended up giving it a 2.5. Then again, 2019, Jojo Rabbit, first time watch. As a person who's not really the greatest or biggest fan of Taika Waititi and his humour, I didn't know how I would feel watching it, but oh boy, I really enjoyed it. I ended up joining quite a lot of people on Letterboxd and giving it a 5. I thought the acting was great. I was laughing throughout, and yeah, that is a movie I will more than likely talk a lot about on the Rev Almanac next year. Then another 2019 movie, Little Monsters, starring Lupita Nyong'o, who's one of my favourite actresses. Um, Not much really in detail that I can say about that movie. It's just kind of a fun horror zombie movie that's got humour in. Might land for some, might not. I ended up giving it a 3. Just average movie, depending what you want from it, you can probably get from it. Then another 2024 movie, I watched Kill, the Indian movie that's basically John Wick meets Bullet Train meets The Raid. Fun time. Again, not much I can say in detail. Ended up giving that a 3.5. Just a fun time. Then 2019, I watched Ford versus Ferrari. Excellent. Ended up giving it a 4. Again, on a rewatch, I can see that easily going up. Matt Damon, Christian Bale give wonderful performances about, if you're a motorsport fan like I am, a very important story, and I think it's done very, very well. Then, very stupid one. If it's on TV and I don't know what to watch, I will put it on. The most British, probably, thing on this list, Mr. Bean's Holiday. It's fun. It's always been a thing I love. I remember watching it with my family in 2007 at the cinema when it come out. I give it a 3. I was going to do a jokingly 5-star review, but 3. Then, again, this is where we get a bit not controversial in the movie, but in the person. The Apprentice. Again, really well crafted movie with amazing performances. Sebastian Stan, as I said, he's having himself an amazing year. Jeremy Strong is incredible. For me, a front runner for best supporting actor, but I do think Kieran Culkin will ultimately end up beating him to it. Even though I do think Jeremy Strong's performance as Roy Cohn is a better performance. I ended up giving The Apprentice a 4. It's essentially half biopic, half horror because of the man that we witnessed getting created. Then finally, I watched Anora. I missed out at the time. I couldn't get to the cinema to see it. Then I pre-ordered it on the TV. I was waiting for so long. I didn't know if it had come out before the Oscars and the Oscar nominations. I'm happy that it did. I watched it with the hype and everything. I was convinced that it couldn't live up to the idea that I wanted it to be, but it did. It is a great movie. Mikey Madison, in my opinion, should be winning Best Actress. I don't think she probably will because just that's how the Academy works, but the work she put in for that role and just how good it is, I didn't expect it to be so sad and tragic of a story as well. And I think that's a testament to the writing and directing. Sean Baker did a great job directing it. Just a really, really good movie that does live up to the hype. I ended up giving it a 4.5. Then a quick one, simple one, fun movie, Sisu. If you've not seen it, you like dumb action movies that you can just sit back and watch. Recommend it, 3.5. Then it was a movie I got for Christmas on Blu-ray, The Long Good Friday. Um, Great gangster movie, great British movie. Bob Hoskins is amazing in it. We also get the film debut of Pierce Brosnan, who was only 25 in that movie. So it's funny seeing a pre-Bond Brosnan in a movie. I do recommend it a lot. I gave it a 4. Then that made me decide, you know what? I'm going to watch the British gangster movie. I watched Snatch. I love that movie. I've seen it I don't know how many times. If you've somehow not seen it, go and watch it. Treat yourself. Amazing performances and just the humour mixed with the story. It's great. Guy Ritchie does a great job with it. 5 for me. Then I watched Boys in the Hood. A movie I'd only seen once before, and it stuck with me. And watching it again, it still stuck with me. An incredible tale, incredibly written and directed. The director was 23 when he made that, which is insane. Amazing performances. It's a 5. I can't say anything that hasn't already been said about this movie. It is amazing. Then I finally watched Nosferatu in cinema, like how it's meant to be seen, and it did not disappoint. I love the original silent film, so it had quite a lot to live up to, but oh my, it does. I do recommend you going on to the Hall of Film Letterboxd and reading my review. It's my longest and probably most passionate review to date. I break down everything from the performances and cinematography, everything. It's done in Edgar's way, where he adds so much folklore to the story, which obviously, if you've seen Robert Eggers' movie, you know he loves adding folklore stuff in. Lily Rose Depp, where's her Best Actress nominee? I don't know. It must have got lost in the mail. Where's Nicholas Holt's nomination for where you could say Best Actor or Best Supporting Actor? That was a movie that should have got nominated a damn sight more. Then I watched Decision to Leave on a friend's recommendation. Excellent movie. I give that a 4. By the way, I give Nosferatu a 5. Then I watched 8 Mile. Doesn't matter how long in between viewings that I've seen. I last saw that movie about 4 years ago. I remember the raps off by heart. It's a great time, and for some reason, 90s rappers just ended up being amazing actors. I don't know why. Ended up giving it 3.5. It's just a fun movie. If you like Eminem, you'll love it. Then a more recent one, only as of a couple of days ago, I watched Baby Girl in cinema. That was something. I can understand why people will love it, and I can certainly understand why people hate it. I give it 3.5, which is about middle of the road kind of. I did enjoy it. It is what 50 Shades of Grey hoped to be. Um, Nicole Kidman's great. Harris Dickinson is great. Um, Very edgy movie, and sometimes just kind of doing shock value for shock value's sake. But ultimately, yeah, 3.5. Then went around my friend's house and for the first time watched Inside Llewyn Davis. That is the movie that a complete unknown should have been. Um, that is a performance that Timothy Chalamet should have been by Oscar Isaac. Incredible, simply incredible. If you've not seen it, go and watch it. It's on Prime in the UK. I ended up giving it a 4.5. Then it made me, as soon as I come back, another Coen Brothers classic was on TV, and I rewatched The Big Lebowski. Doesn't matter how many times I rewatch that movie, I will never tire of it. It's one of the best comedies, in my opinion. Jeff Bridges and John Goodman are insane and incredible. You get a Philip Seymour Hoffman performance in it as well. Perfectly crafted movie, and the second best Coen Brothers movie in my opinion, second only to No Country for Old Men. And The Big Lebowski for me is a 5 star. Then I watched Anyone But You, starring Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney. This movie was crafted for me. I love a good rom com. I love those two as actors. Their chemistry is amazing. I love the movie. I smiled and laughed from the first minute to the last. Um, is it a review as serious as trying to be in a critic's mind? No, because I had way too much fun for this with this movie, and I had to just present my feelings. This is a 5 star. As far as rom coms go, one of my favourites, might be my favourite rom com now. I loved every second of this movie. Then the final two, I watched Train Spotting again for the first time. Danny Boyle's masterpiece. Um, I I don't know what else to say, but it's a masterpiece. I also give this a 5. Ewan McGregor's performance is amazing. Robert Carlyle is amazing in everything, and he's unhinged in that movie. Um, Again, the world that he's created and everything, I just loved every second of it. It's an incredible story. Again, go watch it. It's available in the UK on multiple different things. But yeah, great movie. Then finally, I watched it last night. Um, Last movie of the year, the month for me, not the year. I watched A Complete Unknown in cinema on the balcony. Very, um, it's a movie I didn't love, but I didn't hate at the same time. I walked in not knowing a lot about Bob Dylan, and I walked out knowing nothing new about Bob Dylan. I think as a film with some of the hype that people have given it, it's extremely overrated. I do think the letterboxed average rating is probably a bit more what the movie should be. The average rating I think is about 3.5. I give it a 3. I'm not a huge fan of biopics anyway, but considering this was the director who did Walk the Line, which I loved that movie, I was expecting a lot. I think Timothy Chalamet's performance is fine. It's again, it's one of those, because he spent so long learning to sing and play guitar. I think people overhype it, and because of the work that's gone in, which is fine. Do I think it's a front runner for the best actor performance? Not really, but it probably will be, because the Academy loves a biopic, especially a musical biopic. But yeah, I ended up giving that a 3. So that is all 36 movies that I watched in the month of January. Thank you everybody for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment on some of the movies you've seen in January. I will be doing this video again next month, recapping what I watched in February. Also, around next week, I think I will call the deadline on the first voting period of the Hall of Film for the modern period. And then I will do the video inducting the 10 actors, actresses, directors, and films into the Hall of Film, and then we will open the new Hall of Film window in which we induct the new Hollywood time period. So yeah, I will see you all in the next video.